Alright, so if you're watching this, you're probably from the thread I made. Most of the information about this is there, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it, because you guys have probably read enough at this point. So this video, and two more after it, are going to be about some of the cannons I talked about earlier in the post. If you haven't made a cannon, this is going to be the video that you're going to want to watch. It's going to be showing you how to make and how a pretty much basic cannon just works. Second video will be a more reloadable and multi-shot cannon. And the final video will be basically a variation of that multi-shot reloadable cannon, except it can be adjusted to become a hybrid. This cannon's pretty much just has an added attachment onto this one. Anyway, so yeah, you can see that I've used it a few times before, but that's all good. Basically, the general concept is, for any TNT cannon, there is a piece of TNT called the charge that is launched by another bunch of TNT, usually called the propellant. So, depending on how much, depending on how many propellant you add to the cannon, your charge is going to launch farther. With this, you can put, you can put a maximum of 8 or 9, depending on how you make this. But for now, we'll just use, let's try 3. So this redstone current on the left activates all these 3 pieces of TNT, but since this is glass, the signal doesn't transfer diagonally to this piece of TNT. When you hit the right button, it will transfer all the way through, hitting this piece of stone brick, and it will diagonally jump to this piece of TNT, setting it off. So basically, this is as manual as it gets. Everything over there is going to be a lot more pre-set up and doing everything itself. Anyway, so the closer you hit the buttons to, the closer like that you use them one to another, that is going to mean that the TNT that is the charge that is launched, it's being triggered closer to the propellant, which means it's gonna explode in the air faster. So say there's a wall of a base like right along this line, you're going to be wanting to hit both buttons pretty close together because you want the charge to explode just about on impact. Whereas if you're shooting for something farther away, you're going to need more propellant and you're going to need the buttons clicked farther apart from each other. But yeah, so I'll show you that. Propellant's activated, wait a few seconds, hit the charge, launched over here, and yeah. So you can add more charge to make this shoot farther. I'm going to show you a pretty low amount of, lower amount of propellant, and yeah. So this is going to be something you'd want to use if you were shooting the base that's a lot closer to you. You can tell how it exploded a few seconds earlier than it did over here. That's because of the amount of time in between when these 2 buttons are clicked. Alright, so it's pretty simple to make. Go ahead and place down 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of pretty much any building material. Endstone has a higher blast resistance than cobble, but other than that, unless you're using obsidian, you can really do whatever you want. Alright, so you're going to put a source block of water here. This is basically going to be ensuring that you don't blow your cannon up, because you don't want that. When you're raiding, you want things to be happening efficiently, if not quickly. So blowing up your cannon does no good for that. I add this mostly for stabilizer, so it shoots in straight line as intended, but it also helps with the redstone signals. Go ahead and grab a button. So you can use anything on the right, but it does need to be glass on the left, at least this block. The redstone signal pretty much depends on it. Alright, so get the buttons down and send redstone current all the way to each little 2 block here. So remember, this on the left is activating the propellant, and what's on the right is activating the actual charge that's fired. Grab a slab, and you're good to go. This is what's good. Well, go ahead and put this there so it can be aimed a little better. If you want to, you can add this if you're shooting a longer range. Add a little barrel, basically. It steadies the TNT midair, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So I'll go ahead and put as much propellant as this cannon can hold, and give it a second. Click this. So it fires pretty far. I don't think that hit the water. We ought to be good. It might have. Anyway, but you saw how far it fired. And that cannon has pretty minimal power compared to what you'll see in the next view. It may have exploded in midair. That might have been what it was. Anyway, so that's how you make a pretty basic cannon. If you have any questions or just want to know how something works, have any ideas, go ahead and put that into the, go ahead and just post it on the thread. And if you want to see a more complicated cannon, go ahead and watch the next video, and then again after that, an even more complicated. If you ever see water, basically on a base, you're going to need this cannon, so it would probably be a good idea to watch the third video. But if you've never used cannons before, this is for simple raiding, non-involving water. This is all you're really going to need. Alright, so hopefully this was helpful. Go ahead and come back, stick around for the second video. Yeah, alright, I'll be right back.